what's up, guys? Jazz Borgonzo here. What's next? In the continued tradition of attack Hawaii, this is no surprise to anybody, but for those who know this person, that she will stand up and call a spade and basically call out nonsense and garbage when she sees it. So let's take a look. This comes out of Blaze Media. Tulsi Gabbard. Now, for those who don't know, Tulsi Gabbard, former presidential candidate, Democrat, who is labeled a Soviet spy by one Haggy Hillary Clinton, who lost so many times you pretty much forget count, demands Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot resign over, or I like to call her Lightweight, resign over her blatant anti-white racism. And of course, as you see there's Lori Lightfoot, and there is a former presidential candidate, Tulsi Gabbard, and also former congresswoman, out of Hawaii. Former Hawaii Rep. Tulsi Gabbard says that Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot should resign after granting interviews only to journalists and reporters of color. Interesting. In a strongly worded Friday tweet, Gabbard wrote, quote, Mayor Lightweight blatant anti-white racism is abhorrent. I call upon President Biden, Kamala Harris, and other leaders of our country of all races to join me in calling for Mayor Lightfoot's resignation. Our leaders must condemn all racism, including anti-white. Well, Tulsi, I love you. Not going to happen. All right. Earlier this week, Lightfoot announced that she would only give interviews to media representatives of color in order to honor the 2-year anniversary of her mayoral inauguration. Do you want to go after those? You want to go over those 2 years? Over those 2 wonderful years? Yeah. Despite facing significant backlash, Lightfoot defended her stance and insisted that people should take a cue from her decision and hire more persons of color across all industries, and particularly within local and national media. A 2-page letter to local media saw Lightfoot double down on the move and complain that the area news outlets are disproportionately male and white. She wrote, quote, by now you may have heard the news that on occasion of the 2-year anniversary of my inauguration as mayor of this great city, I will be exclusively providing one-on-one interviews with journalists of color. Screw you, Whitey. As a person of color, okay, I have throughout my adult life have done everything I can do to fight for diversity and inclusion. Ah, those wonderful buzzwords. In every institution that I've been a part of, and being mayor makes me uniquely situated to shine a spotlight on this most important issue. Lightfoot asserted that overwhelmingly whiteness and maleness dominates Chicago area media outlets, editorial boards, political press corps, and complained that there were no female reporters of color covering City Hall. WBEZ-TV in Chicago, however, dashed the claim and pointed out that 2 of its 3 City Hall reporters were female reporters of Hispanic and South Asian backgrounds, respectively. In April, the former Hawaiian Congresswoman implored Americans to tamp down on what she said was racializations or radicalizations. It's more like racializations taking hold across the country. In a widely shared media post, Gabbard wrote, my dear friends and fellow Americans, please let us stop this radicalization of everyone and everything, i.e. racialism. We are children of God and therefore family in the truest sense. No matter what our race or ethnicity, this is aloha. This is what our country and world needed. My thoughts. Tulsi Gabbard is 100% correct. The fact of the matter is that we keep on dividing ourselves and widening that chasm because of racism, Because when you have those like Lightweight in Chicago, who, by the way, turned a great city into a shite hole, to quote former President Donald Trump, this is what you get. Not surprisingly, what Chicago has become under her watch. But regarding what Tulsi Gabbard said, Tulsi Gabbard is 100% correct. That if we continue to go down this road of everything is racial, everything is phobic, everything is this, that, and other because of, quote, diversity and inclusion, which is what we needed, because this country, which is the great melting pot, isn't diverse or inclusion enough. Yeah, we got a problem with that. But we are going to take a look at something else that has reason for Tulsi Gabbard to make her voice known, and also what goes on in the wonderful city that is Chicago under Lori Lightweight. Let's take this. Comes out of Breitbart. Over 35 shot Friday into Saturday night across Mayor Lori Lightfoot's Chicago. Ah, there she is, Lori Lightfoot. For those who don't know, is Beetlejuice. Don't say her name 3 times. It gets very ugly after that. Excuse me. Over 35 people were shot, 7 fatally, Friday into Saturday nights across Mayor Lightfoot's Chicago. Chicago Sun-Times reported that exact figure at 36 shooting victims as of 10:30 p.m. Central Time Saturday night. 2 people were shot and killed Friday night just before 10:30 p.m. in the 500 block of North Kenzie Avenue. The shooting followed an argument which resulted in a man opening fire on a 23-year-old woman and 18-year-old male who was with her, killing them both. Another Friday night fatality, 15-year-old Dejan Cater, who was shot and killed while on a front porch in Lonsdale. Gator was on a porch before midnight when 2 men approached on foot, opened fire, shooting him in the head. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced deceased. Minutes later, Saturday night, a man was shot and killed while driving on Eisenhower Expressway. Breitbart noted Chicago Expressway shootings were up 100% this time last year. Around 2 a.m. Saturday, 2 men were shot and killed while standing in the 4,000 block of West Wilcox Street. The men were 24 and 29 years old. 3 people were standing on a sidewalk, and you can see where I'm going with this. My take on this. Once again, you have the mayor of Chicago patting herself on her own back so hard that basically she's breaking her shoulders in regards to how great her 2-year stint has been so far as mayor of a once great Chicago. And I say that once as in past tense. Chicago is a great city from a distance, just like Baltimore, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, Portland, from a distance. Notice the theme. Every single one of these cities are Democratic run. They are democratically run, which means run them into the ground. And that's exactly what Mayor Lightfoot has done. Mayor Lightweight is a joke, is an embarrassment. She's a moron. You know, she couldn't run a lemonade stand, but yet you want to give her the reins over the what? From a media standpoint, from an economic standpoint, the 4th largest city, I think, if my numbers are correct. But Lightfoot is a clown, and she needs to be called out. And so when you have those like Tulsi Gabbard, and you have her latest, I'm just going to interview, those who are black or those who are Hispanic or those who are everybody but white. That is the least of her problems. When you have Chicago crime up, 100, 200% from this time last year. You know, just as I pointed out, you know, on the expressway, 100% over last year. It's pathetic. It's truly pathetic. And you know who suffer the most? Suffer the most are the citizens of that once great city. When you have black on black crime, which has exploded in all the cities aforementioned, no one wants to look at that. But the second a cop is involved, especially a white cop is involved, now we have a problem, and now we need to take out our magnifying glasses and look very closely at the situation, and to reimagine law enforcement or defund the police departments. Little side note here when it comes to not Chicago, when it comes to New York. DeCamio, for all his bantering, shooting his mouth off, has upped the ante when it comes to funding the police department, which of course he's against defunding the police department because crime has exploded in that city. But it's just a little side note right there. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Borgonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below, like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.